Fantasy Crypto, only at the Fantasy Crypt. Alright guys, I'm going to teach you how to win at the 1 hour fantasy crypto games on No Limit Fantasy Sports. Now honestly, these are going to be the toughest games to predict because you're trying to analyze what's going to happen over the span of an hour. And honestly, a lot of things can happen over the span of that hour. So I have found it that the secret is to play it safe and choose non-volatile coins. The lower the volatility in your picks, the greater the chances of winning for you will be. So sometimes the easiest way to win is to just let your opponents choke themselves out with their highly volatile picks and you'll win, as long as yours don't drop down as much as theirs. So later in this video, I'll get deeper into this. I'll explain how to avoid this high volatility and benefit from it. So for now, this strategy is to teach anyone how to play this game. You don't have to be a professional chart reader, professional day trader, none of that. Anyone can benefit from this. So just stay tuned, take notes, and get ready to win big. Alright guys, so the first step is to identify the current market condition. And the way you do that is by going to coinmarketcap.com. And that website, you'll be able to find all the information that you need to identify the current market condition. Now, once you are there, you will be able to identify one of 4 different type of market conditions. The first one is a bull market. That's when Bitcoin and the altcoins and everything are just shooting straight up. Everything is in the green. The second type of market is a bear market. This is where everything is going down. Bitcoin, alts, everything's in the red. Third type of market is a sideways market. This is when everything is going sideways, also known as a flatline market. It might go up a bit, then it'll come back down. It might go back up a bit, go back down. But over the long term, it's just slithering sideways. Now, the fourth and last type of market is when Bitcoin goes on a bull run, but the alts start shooting down. So Bitcoin starts going up, alts start going down. When this happens, people start selling their alts to jump on the Bitcoin bull run, creating that spike up for Bitcoin. So once you have arrived at CoinMarketCap, identify the current market condition, and then you can move on to step 2. Alright, the second step is to identify the time of day when playing. Are you playing on a weekday or are you playing on a weekend? Knowing this can help you out a lot. Now, before I continue, I gotta warn you though, the following information I'm about to give you is not always accurate because crypto tends to do some crazy things sometimes. So it's just something that I found from my experience that most of the time it is true. But just keep in mind that a lot of times it won't be true. It'll do the whole opposite. So just treat this information lightly and it could help you when deciding to pick your next coins. Normally in weekdays, in the morning hours from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., we'll see coins get a boost in price and higher hourly volumes. And then in the evenings, we'll see price drops and hourly volumes drops as well. And then the later it gets in the night, it gets even worse. Now, this might be different in the country that you're at. Here in the US, this is what I find to be true. So treat it as such. Now, once you have on the weekends, that's another thing, everything seems to go down. So if you're playing on a weekend, you might be aiming more towards a bear market strategy. So always keep that in mind. Like I said, sometimes you'll have weekends where everything's going up. So it doesn't always follow the rules, but for the most part, weekends do tend to see price drops and everything. So always keep that in mind when picking coins. Once you have identified that, then you can move on to step 3. Alright, so the third step is to pick coins according to the current market condition and time frame. You want to use CoinMarketCap or CoinAG or go straight to the exchanges and look at the live charts. Now, when looking at coins, you want to pick coins with slow but steady gains. You don't want to pick a coin that just shot up 5% in the last 5 minutes, because remember, when a coin shoots up aggressively too fast, it's going to come shooting down just as fast. And in a 1 hour interval, that could be pretty lethal. So The number one rule is always avoid high volatility, especially in the 1 hour games. You avoid volatility, your chances of winning are going to be much greater. Now, when you're looking at charts, this is pretty much a breakdown of what you want to be looking at. You want to break it down to 5-minute candles, and at the bottom you want to break it down to 1 hour intervals, because you want to study each and every single hour and look how that coin is going up or down. This chart right here, on the side you want to have the percentages open instead of the Satoshi values. It'll give you a better idea of how much the coin is progressing over time. Now, you want to study this 1 hour intervals, and as you can see in this chart I drew, this is a pretty slow and steady uprising chart. That's kind of what you want to look for in a coin when picking them. You want a coin that's going up slowly but steady. It's not shooting up and then shooting down and shooting up and shooting down and shooting up and shooting down, because over the span of an hour, by the end of that game, you're either going to be at the top or at the bottom of that volatility. So you're gambling too much at that point. And like I said, you just want to keep it safe and keep the volatility out of it and just play it safe with slow but steady growing coins. And that's how you win most of the time. Now, I'm going to draw you a pretty aggressive looking board, a graph here, just to give you an example of what not to look for. If you're looking at charts and the graph looks something like this, you want to stay the hell away from that coin, because even though at the beginning of that match you might start out, say, down here at the bottom, and then 5-10 minutes into the game, boom, now you're somewhere up here. You might be up 5-6% already, you might be winning, but then, like I said, whatever goes up aggressively is going to shoot right back down aggressively as well. So maybe in the next 30 or 35 minutes, boom, you're going to be somewhere over here, and by the end of the match you might end right here at the bottom. So in the end, you don't really know where the hell you're going to end. You're gambling too much. You might be up at the top or at the bottom, and like I said, over the span of an hour, you just don't know exactly where the hell you're going to end up. If all 5 coins, the graph looks like this, you're basically just gambling with 5 coins at that point. You might get lucky and end the match, you know, somewhere up here at the top and win big against everyone, but more times than not, you're going to miss it. You're going to end at the bottom or somewhere in the middle, and you're going to get burned more times than not. And in the long term, this is not going to make you a profitable player. You're going to be losing a lot more than the times you're winning, and it's going to piss you off. So, like I said, just keep it safe. Avoid volatility, and you'll have much greater chances of winning. Alright, now we're getting to the juicy stuff here. Now I'm going to show you how to pick your coins during each and every single different market. Real quickly, picking coins during a bull market. You want to pick coins with high volume and a high market cap. Usually the top 50 coins are the safest. You want to avoid coins that are shooting up too aggressively, because like I said before, what shoots up aggressively will shoot back down just as aggressively. And then you want to pick coins that are releasing a lot of great news, partnerships, and all that. Those are usually tend to work real good during bull runs. Now, picking coins during a bear market. This is my favorite time to play. This is when everybody runs away, nobody wants to play, everyone's hiding in their caves. I don't understand why. This is the simplest time to be playing. It's the easiest. Why? Because right off the bat, you automatically draft Tether and Bitcoin. Why? Because Tether doesn't lose value. So while everything else is going down, you're going to be safe with Tether. Now Bitcoin in a bear market will be declining as well, but it's going to be the coin that's going to decline the slowest out of all the rest of the alts. Usually that's the case. So right off the bat, you want to have Tether and Bitcoin. Now the next step is going to be, the next 3 coins need to be slow declining coins or flatlining. That's where the challenge is going to be. So you got to start going through your charts and finding 3 coins that you feel are going to decline the least in the next hour or so. Don't get aggressive coins. You want to try to lose the least against everyone else. Like I said before, you want to let your opponents choke themselves out with their highly volatile coins. if none of your opponents have Tether or Bitcoin in their coins, you already have a huge advantage over them. So a bear market, best time to play. Now, picking coins during a sideways market. This one tends to get tricky, but it's my second favorite. Here you have to identify simple patterns in charts to determine small 1% gains over the span of 1 hour. Coins with the least amount of volatility are best, of course. Now, you want to look for coins that tend to run on these two simple patterns. These are two patterns that I always follow during sidelining markets. It tends to work most of the time. You want to look for charts that look something like this, where the coin has found it's just bouncing up and down on its floor and its ceiling. So what you want to do, from what I've found, is that over the span of an hour, this coin will usually, let's say it starts out right here. Over the span of an hour, it'll end up here. And then on the next hour, it'll end on its floor. On the next hour, it'll end on its ceiling. On the next hour, it'll end on the floor. And it just keeps doing that for a good while. Now, when you're picking your coins, you want to find the one that has found the floor, and you want to pick it right then and there. And you want to pick all 5 coins off that same concept, all of them at the bottom, and then the match starts. You start out with all coins here at the bottom. Over the span of an hour, you're going to end up right here at the top. You're going to end up with maybe 1 or 2% increase per coin at the end of the match. Now, like I said, most of the time this is what happens. Now in crypto, like I said, anything could happen in crypto. I've had times where I'll start out down here, and then it'll like 5-10 minutes up, it's going up, and then out of nowhere, boom, it just shoots straight down to hell, and now you're fucked. Like I said, anything can happen here. So more times than not, this pattern will continue doing this trend here, but sometimes they just shoot straight down when you think it's going to go up, or something just shoot up randomly, and you just pray that it stays up there and doesn't shoot back down. So this is the number one pattern you want to look for. The second pattern you want to look for is just a straight line sideways. If you could find the coin that's just not going up, not going down, but it's just shooting sideways, pick that. You're not going to gain, you're not going to lose, but again, let your opponent choke himself out. Now, picking coins during a BTC bull run and an out drop. This one is pretty straightforward. You want to get automatically draft Bitcoin, because Bitcoin's the only one that's going up. Now the challenge is going to be in the next 4 coins. You should be choosing coins that are either flatlining or slow declining. Pick 4 coins that you think are going to lose the least amount in the next hour or so. That way you win by just letting your other opponents lose the most. And outside of that, that's pretty much it. That's how you pick your coins based on the current market condition. You follow these rules, you are playing it the safest way you possibly can, and you're guaranteeing yourself success. So try it out, see how it works out for you, and that's pretty much the base to all this. So try it out. So there you have it, guys. This will be your core, your foundation towards building yourselves up as one of the most profitable players in fantasy. Now, this ain't gonna be easy, but if you're willing to put in the hard work and sacrifice day in and day out for this, you will be rewarded in the end. Pressure creates change. Remember, quitters never win and winners never quit. Fantasy Crypt.